Hi, my name is Victoria Weinstein. I'm a sales and marketing director for Salute Africa. Today I will talk to you about the upcoming trip that Roseborough and ourselves collaborated on and had great fun in doing that, and hopefully bring you one of the best trips of a lifetime for you to experience Africa at its best. As a start, I think it's important to touch on who Salute Africa is. We are a ground handling company based in Johannesburg, South Africa, with over 24 years of experience in handling anything from A to Z for anything related to tourist services, accommodation, flights, charter flights, birthdays, celebrations, presents, and so on and on. So I think we are very well geared towards creating a fantastic trip, an unforgettable experience that will truly set aside in your mind as something, as a wow factor. Salute Africa has got its own fleet in Johannesburg, Cape Town, and so on. In countries like Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, we collaborate with local operating people and set up joint ventures where we supply the clients and they do all our operational activities. If we talk about the trip that we have created for you today, the highlights, of course, is Cape Town. Cape Town, one of them is Cape Town. Cape Town is probably one of the 10 most visited cities in the world. We have thousands and millions of people arriving into Cape Town. Most people don't even realize that they're coming into the first world country. We have the sea, the mountains, the beaches, the beautiful scenery, fantastic people, amazing food, and Cape Town is probably, in my opinion, a must and should definitely be included in any itinerary. We also included safari in Botswana. Botswana is known for its wildlife and known for the abundance of wildlife, and what you see there is quite amazing. You get a chance of doing both a river safari and a land-based safari, so you get to see the animals from every angle, which is really quite special. Of course, we've got the Victoria Falls, which is one of the 7th natural wonders of the world, a must to see. From a height point of view, it is the highest but not the widest, and I think that the experience of seeing the Victoria Falls and the beauty that is there is something that is a must to include in any itinerary as well. We also included Johannesburg, which is commonly referred to as the City of Gold. In addition to the natural resources that are found here, we have the diversified Rainbow Nation, as we call ourselves, very, very rich in history and of course the recent political changes that are very, very interesting to most tourists visiting our country. I think as a first-time visitor to our part of the world, this is an ideal trip. It gives you a taste of everything that we have to offer, and it's so unique that you will not find it anywhere else in the world. Amanda and I discussed the possibility, answering a few questions, and we decided that I would put together this video answering probably commonly known questions. Of course, afterwards, if any of you have additional questions, we can set up a conference call where we can discuss it live. But I think as a start, I will answer a few that are common when traveling to Africa. The first thing is, what are the highlights, that are found in Africa? Of course, it's the animals. Of course, it's the food. We have great food. Our restaurants use only organic ingredients. We are all about health in South Africa. The portions are great. It's very inexpensive. Uh, Great ambience, great climate. You're sitting outside with a bottle of wine, looking at the ocean. You want to pinch yourself and think, wow, did I really get you? So that's probably, anything that is, especially when you sit in a lodge and you're looking at maybe a water hole, you're seeing animals come through, and you're observing all that from a close enough distance. Also, something really to remember. Um, if we look at the trip itself, we selected September, October as time of the year for travel. And the reason we did that is, in my opinion, it's probably the best time to experience Africa. In the cities like Cape Town, Johannesburg, it is not as hot, so it's great time for touring. You are, the weather and the climate is still great. We have sunshine, but it's not boiling, and it's certainly not humid, which makes a big difference. So you get a lot further, and you get to see a lot more and not get as tired. From a safari point of view, September, October is probably considered as the best time of the year to travel. And the reason is, again, it's not as hot, it's drier, a lot more drier, so you find that the animals are a lot more active. You find them at most water holes. You get to see a lot more. They're not hiding away from the sun during the day, somewhere in the shade, camouflaged. And you get to really, see how they behave, and how they interact, which is really quite special. Um, it's not considered a rainy time of the year. However, short showers may be experienced, which is not a bad thing, because it certainly cools down the air, and again, a different perspective of the vegetation that's around you, and so on. But certainly no torrential rains at all, and no rains which potentially interrupt your touring and so on. If we look at following the weather, one of the next question was what transport gets used during the touring. So our groups are generally ranging anything from 8 to 22, 24 people, and we use various vehicles. As I mentioned, in Cape Town, Johannesburg, we will use our own fleet, which is Quantum's 10-seater luxury minibuses, air-conditioned. We don't use any vehicles that are older than 2 years old. They're all extremely clean, maintained, and we really are very, very vigilant with that. For bigger groups than that, we use 16-seater sprinters, anything to 22-seater to 26-seater, and 46-seater luxury coaches as well. During your touring, there is water on the vehicles, which will allow you to not necessarily do additional stops which are not necessary. In Zambia and Zimbabwe, we use similar fleet. In Botswana, all the safari is conducted in open 4x4 vehicles with almost like a canopy over the roof, just to prevent the sun from coming in. Following transport, my next question was what are the shots and potentially medication or drugs that are necessary or recommended. I'm here to put your mind at ease. There's absolutely no shots that are required at all. Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Botswana are considered low-risk malaria area. However, again, one of the reasons we selected September and October time of the year to travel is, again, because it is a much drier time of the year, the risk of malaria are even lower. As a precaution, it is recommended to take anti-malaria drugs, and these you can find at any one of your local drugstores, and some of the brands have very, very minimal side effects, if any at all. So we do recommend it, that you find out about that, and we can give you some examples if need be. one of the biggest questions that people ask is, a packing list. What do they pack when they come to Africa? Of course, you're going to be doing a lot of touring, but not necessarily a fortune of walking. But still, comfortable walking shoes is the number one priority. We always recommend that the clothing is more on a casual side, comfortable and casual. You have during the day in the cities like Cape Town and Johannesburg, it is relatively warm. The weather is great, so you can choose up to wear shorts. Alternatively, denims is a great way to tour. During the safari, we recommend long sleeve shirts, mainly because to protect you from the sun. Sunblock, of course, speaking of the sun, number one that you do need to pack. We recommend that you also take a windbreaker, a few jerseys, potentially a jacket and a scarf or a beanie to cover your ears. And the reason for that is we go out on safari either early morning or late in the afternoon. Again, the reason for that is the animals are a lot more active during that time of the day. Because you are in open vehicles, you do get that natural air conditioning when the vehicle is moving. And as a result, to make yourself more comfortable, it is better to have the warmer clothing with you rather than not. From a color point of view, neutral colors is more advisable, especially during safari. We recommend that you wear colors like khaki, browns, creams, and so on. Try and avoid blacks and dark blues, navies, mainly because the darker colors attract flies, and also you tend to be a lot more hot in the darker color than the light color. In Victoria Falls as well as in Cape Town, in the evenings you'll be going to restaurants, and there more of a smart casual look is recommended. Mainly you don't need a jacket, but trousers with a nice shirt is great. Ladies, a casual dress, nothing over the top and nothing too fancy. Casual, comfortable, but more on the smart side for dinner. My next question was, what if you can't make this trip? What then? We offer a number of tours, a number of track tours with guaranteed departures. We can always recommend any of those, and you can select a date which is more suitable. Alternatively, we can work with you and custom make a trip that is specific to your needs, to your requests. Increase number of nights on safari, decrease the number of nights in the cities, add something additional. It all really depends on you and how much time you have to offer. We certainly have a lot to show. Things that I find most people that come to Africa leave saying that in their 30-year travel experience, this is probably one of the most memorable and most exciting destinations. And funny enough, even though a lot of people feel that it's a once in a lifetime trip for them, certainly a lot come back. And when you come back the next time, some of the things that we would recommend is potentially safari in a different area, like the Kruger National Park, well-known Kruger National Park. If you're traveling as a multi-generational family, we do safari in non-malaria risk areas at all, which is great for children, yet definitely with the big five, all the animals, and just as exciting game viewing as anywhere else. There's of course the beautiful garden route, spectacular scenery there. There is Namibia, which is the dunes and the contrasts of your orange and reds to your white dead fly area, which is literally dead land with a few twigs sticking out. Really quite exciting things to see. We also have luxury trains, which is often referred to as like a 6-star hotel or cruise on wheels, which is a great way of touring as well. You have a base and you don't unpack, and yet you stop at various areas and experience them through that luxury train as well. There's two of those available. One is more on a colonial style, a lot more luxurious, a lot more taking you back to the bygone era of such. And the other one is more on a modern side with shorter departures and shorter trips, taking away the flights in between the places and the cities that we have to, that we include to visit. Of course, there's also East Africa. East Africa is known for safari. Things that you see there, you might not see anywhere else. And there, that's really out of Africa experience, because you are truly on safari in your jeeps for 2 weeks or a week or whatever the length that you select, and quite an unbelievable experience. If you like the beach, we have unbelievable white sandy powder beaches, like Mozambique, only 1.5 hours out of Johannesburg by flight. We have Mauritius close by. We have the island of Zanzibar. So there's various things, various destinations available, especially if you're an avid fisherman. That's something that is really very popular to include in your itinerary. So really, Africa is your oyster. We can put anything together. We can custom make it and make a trip that is specific to your requirements, your needs, your dates, and so on. If I look at one of the things that also often comes up is luggage limitations. On the trip that we put together with Roseborough, we have all the flights are commercial flights. It's standard luggage requirements as you would have on your long-haul international flights. You can have hard cases, generally around 62 inches good, and about 44 pounds in terms of weight. Nothing, nothing specific or that you're not allowed during those. If we're doing other destinations, then of course we will specify exactly what the requirements are specific to each trip that we put together. So what to expect out of Africa? Expect a wow factor. Expect things that you can't imagine. Expect amazing food. Expect friendly people. From our side, we guarantee that your trip will be seamless. We are very, very proactive. We're all service orientated. We speak to every person that comes in contact with our clients on a daily basis and check with them for tomorrow that there's no errors or things that are left out. Everybody's on the same page. Our guides are highly, highly professional. Most of them are with over 15 to 20 years of experience. So they will talk about any subject. They are trained not to stop talking while they are with you on tour. So you can ask them any questions and they will be able to answer. And they will, they will actually come back and give you more information if something tickles their interest as well that you particularly asked. So yeah, that concludes really this particular trip. I will be very happy to answer additional questions. From my side, we are most excited to welcome you in South Africa and hope that you will enjoy this experience. The hotels we selected are all wonderful properties with great amenities, comfortable, clean, really high end, on a higher end, so it's going to be a great experience. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.